I look at you. I don't look at that.
Yeah,
right?
just look at me. We're just having a conversation. I don't do interviews, Bruce. I do conversations.
Yeah,
Welcome.
Good to be here.
Bruce, so what have you been up to lately?
Woo! It kind of never ends. This past year was mostly about finishing a record number 26. We've been working on it Sound City with the great Tony Berg, producing young Will McClellan. Remember the name. Tony Berg's acolytes tend to move off from their mentor into bright light.
Is Tony at Sound City? Is that the...
Yeah, he and Blake Mills took over Sound City.
Probably about what, 10
several years ago?
Yeah, a while ago.
Yeah, a while ago. Maybe about 6 years, 7 years ago. I felt like I've lived there for the past, for that time. It's been so great, and one great aspect is that Blake has played on a bunch of my stuff. He played on a record of mine in 2009. It came out in 2009 when he was about 18, and just turned it out because he was such a young freak of nature, sprung from Zeus. And so that's what we've been doing. We did a short tour last year with the young jam band Eggy. That was a short tour, did some solo piano tours, played with 3 orchestras this year. So yeah, and that was an off year. So, and this year is going to be incredibly intense with the release of this new record, Indigo Park.
So how many albums? 26 albums?
This is the 26th.
Okay, when did the first album come out, Bruce?
Yes, well, this is it's fun to be able to relay that this is the 40th anniversary of my first record. My first record came out in 1986.
86, yeah.
It feels like a whole lot longer than that, frankly, in a good way.
Yeah.
So much has happened. The collaborative aspect of my career has just blossomed and never wilted.
Bruce, everybody wants you to play with them, and that's kind of been the case ever since the beginning when you came out back in the mid-'80s.
Well, not everybody, but
you played with those.
So many. So many. Look. I put it this way. I had these posters on my wall, and of heroes of mine. It could have been Keith Jarrett, could have been Elton John, could have been Leon Russell, could have been the band, the Grateful Dead, on and on and on. And I end up either working with or becoming friends with almost everyone in that on the mural in my room. So painting myself into the mural. It was unwitting. I wasn't trying to do this. These were all calls that came to me. I wasn't working the room. Hey man, would you like me to play? At all. Wasn't interested. I had enough to do. Because then when I started playing with the Dead in 1990, I was playing with 2 bands for those 2 years. I was home for 18 days the entire year. 18 out of 365. And 30 days the year before that. So
did you like being on the road that much?
No.
Okay.
No, did not.
All right.
Never really did.
How come?
Okay, so I'll speak to the modern era. Hey, I'm in Kansas City on a day off. And what am I going to do on the day off? Go see the sights of Kansas City again for the 33rd time?
Right.
So it's just boring for me.
Talk to that, because I think people don't realize this. When you tour, when musicians tour a lot, like you have, that you end up you go to the same places all the time. Even if you're touring around the world, you're constantly in the same cities. Yeah. And there's just nothing more to do in them, right?
Well, right. Let's say London or Paris.
Yeah.
That's different.
Yeah.
I love Kansas City.
Yeah.
I have great friends in the Kansas City, Lawrence, Kansas, KU area. Mad for it. But yes, that is true, what you're saying. Here we are again in Grand Rapids. I love Grand Rapids. It was one of the first places we became sort of known on the radio, and we played a big middle of the town square free concert, and we couldn't believe we had 10,000 people until they told us, well, it was free. It was a free show. So, oh well, okay.
Bruce, when you have your first big record like you did back in '86, does it come on as a surprise, or are you so busy you don't even realize what's going on?
Well, since it was happening across the pond, we will rehearse. This is in, say, early August or so, '86. Our record had come out in in the States in April. And they were working the first single, which was not The Way It Is. Everyone thought, a lot of people thought that was the B-side. One of the most beautiful people I've ever met in this music world is the guy who signed me to RCA Records. He was the old rhythm guitar player of the Zombies.
Okay.
Paul Atkinson. Now, Paul called me up and said, they're putting out the first single, Every Little Kiss. Okay, whatever you think. What do I know? I would have never picked The Way It Is. No one would have. And so he calls and says, I think the B-side should be The Way It Is. And this was early on, say April. At that time, the promo guys at RCA were sending me these airplay sheets. Missoula, Montana is playing this, and et cetera, in Denver. That's where it broke in the States. But I noticed on these play sheets, these airplay sheets, that if they ever added a second track, AOR stations, they were called.
Right.
Of course, of course you know.
Yeah, of course.
Album-oriented rock or radio.
Yeah.
If they ever added a second track, it was always Way It Is.
Yeah.
So that was enough for me to tell Paul, I don't think, let's not make that the B-side. Let's put some other thing, whatever, Wild Frontier. So we did that. Then the embattled and embittered BMG London promo rep in July, or late July, early August, he's befuddled and he doesn't know what to do. He goes to his friend, a guy named Nick Vilkoich, a Radio 1 DJ, BBC. Says, Mickey, me boy, we got this record, we really like it. Don't know what to do with it. It's kind of country, it's kind of jazz. It's got a guy soloing on piano, and it's got and then a fiddle mandolin. Yeah. We don't know what to do with it, but we like it. We'd like to see if we can make something happen for it. So take it. Would you do me a favor? Take it home over the weekend and check it out and give me some feedback. So he listened to it over the weekend. He picked this one song. Didn't call Adrian Williams, the guy, the promo man. Put it on the radio. Bang! It just reacted right away. We get these breathless calls from London saying that, okay, this is who knew, but this is happening, and it's really moving, and we need you all to come over here and lip sync your song on Top of the Pops, because that's all you had. Or right. also lip sync your song on the Johnny Carson of England at the time, Terry Wogan. Had a long run as a chat show man. So yes, we go over there. I'm getting makeup. This is the era before I learned how to say no.
Yeah.
So I'm getting makeup done in the Wogan makeup room. And all of a sudden I hear this voice coming down the hall. Where's Bruce Hornsby? Where's Bruce fucking Hornsby? Where is he? And I'm thinking, oh my God, I know he's on this show, and I think that's Elton John. He comes in wearing a Tina Turner wig, and throws his arms around me. I get chills thinking about it. Of course I would. So that was a beautiful moment, and all of a sudden we're sort of the toast and talk of the town in England, throughout the UK, and then it broke in Holland and throughout the rest of Europe, and then throughout the rest of the world, and then the US company knew what the single should be. The next one, and then it broke here too. So it was what I call a wonderful accident, a great fluke.
Bruce, when a song breaks like that, when it starts breaking in a certain place, whether it's over in Europe or whether it's here, is that the only time that the record labels know what to do? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because typically, I've heard so many stories of people that it's always a different song as the first single and then something else breaks.
That seems to be so common.
Yeah.
At least not uncommon.
Yeah.
I think it surprised them. They were taken aback by this so much that I'm not sure they really did know what to do.
Okay.
But it just happened to you that you catch this wave and nothing's going to stop that wave. All of a sudden we find ourselves, okay, we were doing just fine in the States. We'd sold 100,000 albums just on
amazing.
AOR play on Every Little Kiss. Which almost got me sued by the Charles Ives, by Shermer Ives Publicists for publishers, which is that's the beginning of the third movement of the Concord Sonata called the Alcots.
Yeah.
And he lifted that from Beethoven, so
Right.
everyone's lifting. I'm just the second. I'm just the second generation lifter. But that song did well enough for us to realize that, hey, we're going to get to make a second one, and we only had one album guarantee.
Yeah.
I had 14 friends I'd known because I didn't get signed until I was 30.
Yep.
Really late.
Very late.
Slow learner.
Yeah.
Just under the ageist wire.
Yeah. Of course, did you guys used to lie about your age back then? Because no one was ever 30, Bruce.
Yeah, you know
You're like
what?
28.
I didn't. I didn't care. I didn't lie. It's a better story to say I did, but I was kind of the boring guy who didn't lie. I don't think I looked younger, I don't know. But so I don't think the record company just got out of the way.
Yeah.
And did what they needed to do functionally, serviced the records, because all of a sudden it was the number one selling. This is before Way It Is, on the strength of Every Little Kiss. KBCO in Boulder put it into power rotation, and the next week it was the number one selling album in Denver. And that's when RCA realized, even before this Way, during the time The Way It Is was breaking overseas, they said, there's something here. They turned their attention. Sorry, Lou Reed. Love Lou Reed. They were working Lou Reed's record came out at the same time ours did. So obviously.
This happens to everyone.
So
if you want to get on the charts, you got to knock someone else off.
Yeah, if you want to get the record company's
even
attention.
if it's Lou Reed.
Yeah. If you want to get the promotion team's attention, they can't work everything, but these certain guys were really passionate about my thing, because they saw the reaction, even with Every Little Kiss, the Ives song. So then all of a sudden we did a month and a half in the classic places, Bottom Line, Toad's Place, the Roxy, Park West. We did all of that, which was great fun.
Yep.
Then all of a sudden we're opening for Heroes. The first person we opened for, first gig, was Fayetteville, Arkansas, Steve Winwood.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
It was amazing. 7 gigs with him. He was a wonderful soul. Then we did a bunch of gigs with John Fogerty. Then we opened for the Dead in we got a call from them. We became headliners on a 9-song album. So we had to flesh out our now headlining set with some covers, and we would play I Know You're Rider.
Okay, wait, just go back about making a record back then, okay? Because I always like to talk about the kind of the change in technology. So back then you're making records on tape.
Yeah.
How long did it take to make a record, like the first record?
I guess maybe 5 months. It was just because I'm just not going to say I'll say I was pretty pitiful at it.
Had you been in the studio much?
Oh, a lot, making demos for songs. Yeah, like crazy.
Yeah.
I was always dogged and determined.
Yep.
Every year I'd come out with a new batch of 4 or 5 songs, pass it around. I got passed on 70, 80 times. But it's a good story. I don't know if it's still applicable. The record business would be completely unrecognizable to young kids. To me, it was much simpler then. It was real hard to get a deal.
Very hard to get a deal.
It was really hard.
Yeah.
But it was real clear. You were either in the game or out of the game. It was like pro sports.
Yeah.
You got 30 major labels, 20 or 30, like 30 NFL teams.
Yep.
And every year they sign 10 to 15 artists.
Yep.
10 to 15
Rookies.
draft choices. Yes.
Yep.
And so they throw these up against the wall, see what sticks. Just like
a few of them will.
A few of them will, just like in professional sports.
Yep.
So you were either in the game or you were out. Now that's a simplification when you have college radio and you have young bands. The guys that come to mind are the great REM.
Yeah.
You know, they just came straight
the
from
ultimate college band.
Absolutely, and just beautiful. Their rise through that different.
That was a very different path.
Different pathway.
Yes.
Was it still existed? It did.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it was real clear. You were either in or you were out. Now it's just so nebulous. This Byzantine network of this social stream. You got a lot of these streams and all this. It's so much more difficult to know how you're doing.
Yes.
You may have 150 million. You notice I didn't say billion, but you could something like 150 million streams on your song, and you can't fill this room.
Right. So you make a record,
Okay,
right?
yeah.
The process of making a record, 5 months, something like that. But that was actually common for making records back then.
Mm-hmm. I'm not a fan of that record.
Why not?
Not a fan of that singer.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a little stiff.
Tell me about that
straight.
singer back then.
That singer got better. You can hear the gradual loosening up of my sorry ass as it going through the years. But also, it's just sonically, it's a Lindrum and an OBX. It's just me.
Okay, so for people that don't even know what a Lindrum is, tell people what a Lindrum is and an OBX.
To my understanding, the Lindrum was, if it wasn't the first,
pretty much the first
drum machine.
Yeah.
And Leon Russell should be given credit for that, because Roger Lynn worked for Leon at Paradise Studios on Magnolia up in the Valley. And Leon had great drummers, Chuck Blackwell, Jim Keltner, for God's sake, Jim Gordon.
Amazing.
Yeah, incredible.
Yeah.
But he was always dissatisfied. Maybe not with those guys, but maybe with another second tier cats. Yeah. So he wanted somebody to invent a drum machine that kept metronomic time. You could always count on it.
Yep.
And he hired his engineer at the time, Roger Lynn, and that's how the Lynn drum machine came into being. And I bought one, and now all of a sudden I could make these demos that I loved the sound of. And again, this is a good story for people, because I still think this is applicable. The least commercial tape that I ever made is the one that got me signed, and it was one guy playing synth bass on an OBX.
Yep.
Oberheim. My OBX just fritzed out about 3 years ago, and I told Tony about it. He said, "Well, give it to me. I'm going to have it resurrected." I said, "Man, good luck. You can have it." And damned if he didn't do it. They're using it now in Sound City.
Nice.
Which is great.
It's great.
So yeah, Lindrum, pattern mode. Not even, you could program fills. You could program a cymbal to hit on the chorus or something. No, just, I would play. And then I'd nod at the engineer, hit it.
That's actually how you did it.
Yes,
right?
So those demos, I made them in reaction to the way the band I had, the Range, whom I loved. But there were certain songs that I'd written where I would come away from having worked it up and played it live with the band, and always think, God, I thought this song was better than this. I guess it's not that good. I thought it was good, and maybe it's not. So I got tired of feeling that way, and I said, let me just go try it now that I've got this Lynn drum. And so I did that. So I made a tape, thinking no major label would have any interest in this. It's still songs with words, but it just didn't feel like anything that was going on at the time. And I knew a woman, Dawn Atkinson. I'd done a song for a not well-known George Lucas animated film called Twice Upon a Time. And she was the music supervisor, so we became friends. And then I heard that Dawn was working at Windham Hill, and they were starting a vocal label called Open Air, maybe.
Okay.
This is 85. So I called Dawn, said, hey, I've got this music, maybe you'd be interested. I'm going to send it to you. I've got 2 songs. Mandolin Rain, Away It Is. So she called back and said, hey, I can't stop listening to this. I love it. And are you doing some more? I said, yeah, I happen to be going in the studio to cut 2 more songs this weekend. Can I come down and sit in? So, yeah, sure. So she did. I cut these 2 songs, and she said, can I have a rough? Yeah, okay. We made a little rough. Took it back to Will Ackerman, and he heard it. And on a Sunday night, he called me up and said, I'd like to sign you. How easy was that? So now I have to tell my manager, I'm excited to tell my manager and lawyer about this. My manager, a guy named Fred Ansis, he asked to hear the music. I want to hear it. Okay, so I sent him over a cassette. He called me up and said, hey, this is too good for Windham Hill. This is not, we need to go more.
It's a major label record. Like
well,
even though Windham Hill was a,
that's what he thought. But it sounded like a Windham Hill. It didn't sound like a major label. It's so bare bones. Anyway, I said, Fred, I've been passed on for the last 7 years, probably 70, 80, 90 times. I'm happy with this. And maybe this is what's supposed to be for me. Who knows? I'm fairly elated about it, frankly.
Yeah.
And he said, look, just give me a couple of cassettes. I'll be very careful about it. So he shared it with the aforementioned Paul Atkinson, head of A&R at RCA. And then somehow, it's a small town.
Yeah.
And a little bit of word got out. The year before, The Range had made a demo for Epic. So a guy named Larry Hamby.
Yep.
Was the guy there. At least for me, he was. And so he calls and said, hey, what's going on here? Okay, I'll send it to you, but that's it. But please be careful. Don't share it around. Then he came in. I was getting ready to go up to Marin County, drive up there, and right as I'm walking out on an April morning, the phone rings. No caller ID then in '85. And it's Paul Atkinson. He said, Bruce, it's Paul Atkinson. I think we'd like to proceed. So it was that's what happened. And Larry Hamby came in too. But we picked RCA, and everyone questioned us, why are you picking RCA? They don't have anything going on. Epic has Culture Club and REO Speedwagon, Cyndi Lauper and Michael Jackson. So yeah, that's exactly why.
That's why, right.
That's why we're not picking them.
Yeah.
Our sorry little asses, well, we need some attention.
Right.
And so okay, well, that makes sense. So anyway, so that worked out. But making a record. So right, that's why we got off from the Lynn drum thing. It's basically, the next record, Neil Dorfman was producing, and he was talking to his friend Barry Bongiovi, who ran, I don't know, Record Plant or something, one of the studios. And he says, we've been there for 4 or 5 months, and Nellie D's telling him about it, and Barry Bongiovi, Neil said, what's so hard about it? It's a Lynn drum and a Juno. So we're trying to not be that, move on, but the second album ended up being at least the singles were Lynn drum and a Juno again.
Mm-hmm. So Bruce, what is it about the style of your piano playing that had people want you to play on their records too? Because Don Henley, End of the Innocence, you played
that was
on?
A writing thing,
writing
not just
thing?
playing.
Right.
Bonnie Raitt's the most well-known.
I Can't Make
as
You
a
Love
player,
Me.
Yeah.
Yep. But
as a sausage, as a.
But even with the writing of End of the Innocence, your style, that's your. You hear that's your style.
Right, because that's also a Lynn drum and a Juno.
Exactly.
That is.
Right.
Now
did Don, tell me about that. How did he say, I want to do that, and you said, no, we should, did you say, no, let's not do it like that, and did he say, yes, let's do that, or what?
No, this is how it went down. This is a fun story, too. So he came over to my house. He called to ask me if I'd be interested in writing a song with him, and I...
Did you know him at that point?
No, I didn't. I'd never met him.
All right.
And I'd kind of missed the Eagles' heyday, 70s, because I was learning. I was learning Bill Evans and Keith and all that. So I missed the Eagles. But in the 80s, I really liked Don Henley's solo records, Boys of Summer.
That's right.
So
amazing.
Great. And Dirty Laundry, Sunset Grill, fantastic stuff. So I said, yeah, okay, I'm in. So he came over to my house. I had this little Kohler and Campbell Spinet that was resided right next to the door of the entrance into our house there in Van Nuys. Kathy Hornsby in my house. She was teaching school then. So we're fooling around. He's sitting in a chair, and I fooled around with this. He had a lyrical idea. We weren't really getting anywhere.
Okay.
While we're doing this, though, the doorbell, or the knock on the door, So it's right. So okay, I opened it up and it's the FedEx guy with a little package. So okay, thanks, sign for it. And Don said, "Hey, what's that?" I said, "Well, it's something from RCA Records." "Well, open it up." Okay, open it up. This is spring of '87.
Yep.
So we were flying.
Yep.
I opened it up. It was a sizable check. It was my first royalty check with Don right there. And he said, "Okay, what is it?" "Well, it's my first royalty check." "Oh, come on, man, what is it?" So I told him the number, and he goes, "Welcome to the club." It's just classic.
That is amazing.
Yeah, it was great.
Okay, so then how did you stumble on the song?
Okay, so at the end of our time there, I said, "Look, we're not having much luck here. I have this track, and I don't really like the words I'm writing, the lyrics I'm coming up with. How about if I just go in next week and just cut the track for you and come back a week from now, and I've got some time booked. I'll do this rather than whatever else I was going to do." So, okay. So he comes back, and I played this thing, and if you heard it, it sounds virtually identical to the record. So, and he just...
He felt it.
Yeah,
loved it.
He just, "Oh yeah, this is it. I'm gone. I'm out of here." Another chill moment thinking about that, remembering that. And he had one of the first cell phones. This is '87 again, spring of '87.
Was it about this
big
big or so?
clunker, yeah. He's. I lived off of Balboa and Van Owen, near Balboa Park, which still had farm fields, agriculture, crops were being grown on Balboa. He calls me up from his phone. "Man, I'm passing all these forests and fields. I'm getting all these ideas. I'm writing them down. God, I think Phil, I've got it half written." He called me again when he got back to his house. He said, I think we're onto something here."
Was he listening to a cassette in his car, right?
Yes, so much so. He listened to it so much that he knew every little lick, just that.
Yeah.
No, don't play. Do play. He knew every little nuance of something I just tossed off in one take. Just okay.
But the figure that you play there.
Just a bunch of ninths as the melody, and so, it has a nice resonance even now. My next memory of it really is going in and cutting it, which meant Jay Winding doing a few different things that I had done on the synth bass, and me playing.
So he's basically using your demo. It's your demo, right?
Yeah, it's my master.
With
demo that becomes the master.
Yeah,
just like our first couple of records did so much.
Did you record that demo in a studio?
Yeah.
Okay.
Eddie King, a guy named Eddie King at King Sound in the Valley.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, I was always over there. I always.
So you had the master tape and everything, and then you went in and added some stuff on the bass, right?
Well, I don't know what Don. I guess I gave him the multis, and he had his way with them. I was in there when Jay was doing his stuff.
Were you there when Don cut any of the vocals or not?
No, I was not. I was there. This is classic, though. When I did my piano, basically Don just was having a party. He had about 20 people in that room just having at it with the wine. Let's just watch Bruce do this track as our entertainment. It's just goofy. Hey, wait. I'm trying to get somebody's attention here. Can I redo that? Whatever, that's goofy. But Cooch, Danny Korchmar, was a co-producer. So I'm not sure whose idea it was to do this, but there's a solo in the middle, and I got Wayne Shorter to play on it.
That's right.
Yes. And so
Did Don know who Wayne Shorter was?
Not much.
Okay.
Yeah. Not a lot. He wasn't
He didn't appreciate the gravity of that.
I wonder if he does now. We should call him up and say, "Hey, you think that's special now?" Because Cooch and I are just freaking, We're just, It was just so beautiful.
Did Wayne come down there when you were there?
Oh yeah. Well, because I was his entree into the world. A friend,
come on, you must have been psyched about that.
I'm saying we were going crazy. Cooch and I were just over the moon about it.
Yeah, Wayne Shorter to play on this.
Yes, yeah, and it was just beautiful. What he played was just what you'd want. It's ineffable. It's intangible. That his phrasing, it's kind of back and over the bar and just special to me. And to Cooch as well. So
to me.
And yes, to a lot of people, yes.
And you must have been thinking like, wow.
Yeah, I
Wayne's
did.
playing on one of my tunes here.
Of course, yeah. But mostly, it wasn't. I was in the moment. I was wanting to make sure that he knew when to come in.
Yeah.
I didn't want to do too many takes. I wanted to steer him a little bit.
Yeah.
This is a great one. Okay. So he's out there, and he keeps coming in too early. And finally I said, I talked back, hey, you keep coming in a little early. It's 4 bars later. It's right after the piano line.
I have to play this, Bruce.
This is the end of the
He was coming in right there.
Okay.
Which would have been fine, but we just wanted to have this thing established.
Wow. Now, when people hear this stuff, everyone knows this song. When they hear this too, that these moments happened. I mean, there was a time when you played the piano part on this from nothing onto a tape.
Yeah.
There was a time when Wayne Shorter played that thing and you were there.
Well, this is a classic story. So finally, he seemed to grok what I was saying. And his way of relating that to us, I said, okay, it's... Then you come in, and he looks at us, and he says, "Oh, you mean like mountains and rivers and shit?" Yeah, exactly like that. And then he nailed it every time.
Amazing.
It's hilarious. It's the best. I had a great time becoming friendly with him. He lived just below the top of Mulholland, Dona Amelia Drive. So I used to go over there now and then. I had him play on my next record on a song called Fire and the Cross. Interesting bedfellows, Bela Fleck and Wayne Shorter.
Well, just to finish the thing about Don, when when you heard Don's vocal on this, right? Yeah. Did you say, "Wow, that's"?
Well, he's a great singer. He's
phenomenal,
one of the great singers. You just hear it right there. You go,
amazing,
he's so powerful and just nailing it every time.
Yep,
he sings it the same way every
time.
And you know what? He freaking means it every time.
Yeah.
You know, I would have a hard time with that because I just would be, and that's to my detriment. I mean, I don't want to do something the same way all the time. It's not in me. But he is the opposite, and I give him his flowers, as people say to that.
But to your point about your piano part, anything that was different, any fill that was different or whatever, like he gets it in his head, and it can't be anything different.
Exactly,
right?
That's right. He learned that cassette and everything about it. Yeah.
Bruce, did you like making videos back then? Video was such an important part.
Oh yeah, we made some of the worst videos in the MTV era, mostly because we didn't take it seriously.
Okay.
We used it as an excuse to get our friends on TV.
Okay.
So you know, Valley Road video, using McCoy. I couldn't believe what I got away with. I thought I got away with a lot on Way It Is because I was 2 improvised solos.
Yeah.
Playing that. You know, that was so great. Hearing that again next to the disco record. It was fun. It was amazing. The video for that was the quintessential version of what I'm talking about. Grew up and live in Williamsburg, Virginia, home of William and Mary, the college.
Yeah.
And when we were kids, if you were a hooper, a jock of any kind, you hung out at Blow Gym, and you get thrown out because you didn't go to school there. But you'd go around the back and bang on the door, and someone would let you in, and you'd go play some more. We heard that Blow Gym was being turned into Blow Hall, office space and classrooms. So we thought, well, the end of an era. Let's see if we can immortalize it before its history is totally transformed. And so we did. We got this guy, Gary Weiss. He was the guy who made a short film by Gary Weiss for Saturday Night Live for years back in that day.
Yeah.
Gary Weiss came down and having a ball with this thing. So we were set up in Blow Gym in the middle of the basketball court. Had my dad on clarinet. There's no clarinet on the song. He's up there. We're just taking the piss out of the whole thing.
Yeah.
In hindsight, they're fun. They're fun. They're idiotic, and you can hide behind we don't take it seriously, and that's fine. But probably could have done better. Fuck it. I don't. This is what it is.
Okay, talk about the Dad, playing with the Dad, and what was going on. That was
okay.
1990 or so. Is that right?
Well, no, but earlier. It started earlier. As I mentioned before, learning how to be headliners on Nights on Record, we fleshed our set out with a couple of covers. We did When I Paint My Masterpiece the way the band did it. Mm-hmm. Levon's, Streets of Rome, filled with rubble. Great. But we'd also play I Know You Rider, an old traditional song, most known as a Dead vehicle, Dead A-lister. And we would take our song Red Plains from the first record. One of my favorite, maybe my favorite song on that record, the last one. It has the great B section. So we would take that and then double time it like they used to do with China Cat Sunflower into I Know You're Rider, take it into that. So I guess the Dead heard that there was this band riding around, kind of riding high, and was doing I Know You're Rider. They got interested and became fans, and so we got this call out of the blue to open for them at Laguna Seca Racetrack 2 days in May of '87. Ry Cooder, us, and the Dead. You got to realize, I had played, my older brother Bobby Hornsby is a big time Grateful Dead fan, Deadhead.
Okay.
Was in a Deadhead fraternity. They would drop acid, paint their faces, and go play intramural volleyball.
Okay.
So that's where they got thrown off campus for various offenses. So I played in his Grateful Dead cover band. My first year of college, I was at University of Richmond before I fled to Berkeley. So I knew their corpus, at least I knew about 40 Dead songs. So that was great. Anyway, so I was a fan.
Yeah.
I wasn't a Deadhead. I liked Ralph Towner too much. I liked ECM, I liked Oregon, I liked Keith, and whatever, but on and on, Bud. So we get this call. So of course it's a yes, and we did that for 2 days. We met the guys. They were so nice.
Wait, and your brother was there, of course, right?
Of course they flew out.
He must have freaked out.
Yeah, they flew out. Yes, they did. Okay, then the next year, that was '87. Yep. Next year, we get a call up from them again. We'd like you to open 2 more shows. Buckeye Lake was one of them, and then Buckeye Lake, I remember it so well because they asked me to sit in with them. Okay. So I played Stuck Inside a Mobile and Sugaree on accordion. As Garcia said, we don't let just anybody sit in with us on accordion. So, imagine, that's just
amazing.
It's amazing. And then they asked us to do that same year, a third time that year, asked us to open with Suzanne Vega and Hall & Oates, interesting bill, at Madison Square Garden for a rainforest benefit. Okay. When the rainforest was the
they used to have rainforests
du jour, cause célèbre in the environmental world. Yes, so we did that, and then '89 they asked us to open 3 more, 2 days at RFK Stadium and 1 day at JFK. the ill-fated, soon-to-be torn down.
Yeah.
So it just kept on growing. They'd ask me, I'd sit in most every time then. Then I asked him to play on our third record. Oh, he played so well on it. We recorded at Dave Stewart's house in Encino with Don Gaiman, the great Don Gaiman as our producer.
Don's amazing.
Yeah, so great.
Yeah.
Love him. And so Jerry played on that, but the night before they were playing the Forum, and so they asked me to sit in, and this time they wanted me to play the whole set, and it was Bruce's choice. So I got to pick the song list. So it's just growing and growing. And then I got Garcia to play, as I mentioned before, on the aforementioned video we made, concert video for Night of the Town with Joe Henderson playing Wayne's part, or playing the solo on Into the Innocents. Okay, so we opened for them 2 more times in 1990. Carter Finley Stadium at NC State and Cardinal Stadium in Louisville. That started our tour, and then we went on. And I'm in Seattle, and I get a call at 4 or 5 in the morning from my production manager. Steve Borges called and said, just letting you know, Brent died about 3 hours ago. So, oh, wow, okay. So I tried to go back to sleep. I knew I had to get up early because I was going to do one of those morning zoo idiocies. Hey, Bruce, we got a trumpet over here. I want you to play a little bit for it, So I get up to do that. I'm walking down the street about 7:30 because the radio station's pretty adjacent to the hotel. Walking down the street, a guy comes up to me and says, "Hey, Bruce, you joining the boys?" The word was already out.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Amazing.
Yeah, it was insane. That really threw me.
Without the internet.
Exactly.
Right?
That's exactly right. Without pre-internet. Early August, late July or so, 1990. So, sure enough, it was in the wind, it was in the air, and we moved from Seattle down to Concord Pavilion, which is semi-close to Marin County. Mm-hmm. So here came Jerry, Phil, and Cameron Sears, longtime road manager of some sort, wore a lot of hats, great guy. They came to ask me to join. And I said to them, look, man, if you'd have gotten me 3 years ago or so, I'd have joined your band and lived happily ever after and been just mad for it. But I've got this thing going. You see this thing, you see this concert, we got about 7,000 people there. It's not like big, but it's pretty damn good. Mm-hmm. Pretty good for me. So I don't feel like I can just blow this off. But if you need me to, I'll help you through any transitional period that you feel is necessary with whatever new guy you hire. So they hired Vince Welnick from the Tubes, and Vinny did not really know the music. He was not a Dead fan like I had been through my brother. So they called me and said, hey, we got this new guy, we like him, but I think it's gonna take him a little while to get up to speed. Would you come and play with us for a while? Sure. They started buying me buying our band, The Range, out of gigs. They would just pay the promoter so I could play with them. Yeah, it was.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it is. It's crazy. So the greatest part of this is I just went in off the street with no rehearsal and started winging it with them at Madison Square Garden for 5 straight nights. And then I went to Marin, Front Street. We rehearsed for several days. And then went to Europe 90. And then I kept on with them for the next, for about 100 shows, about 20 months.
Wow.
Yeah. I was playing with 2 bands. It was a lot.
That's a lot of work.
It was a lot of work. Playing other people's records like crazy. I was getting all these calls. Don was using me for, again, Bonnie and Bob Dylan, Bob Seger. Yeah, I was just living hey, you dreamed it, you got it. It was just something else that time.
So where would you say that your influences are drawn from? Like the way it is, things like that, the style of playing that is, that caught on with people, right? That style.
Okay.
But there's many different things that you were interested in, and that you're talking about people like Keith Jarrett, for example. During this time period, are you playing other things on your own, or you just don't? You're just so swamped. You're
Yeah.
touring all the time.
But still writing like crazy. I'd have to say that it's pretty simple for me in my pursuit of inspiration, pursuit of material that informs my writing. And for the most part, I'm looking to give myself chills.
Okay.
I'm looking for the chills in music I'm listening to. And so obviously you relate to this. Obviously I'm drawn to people like Keith Jarrett and Bill Evans.
Yeah.
You know, just come on. That Yaqui Indian folk song.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's so great. There are 100 of those just in the Keith corpus.
Right.
You know, the Keith oeuvre, you know. Bill Evans too. You know, that's just, I love it.
Bruce, when did you learn all this stuff? Were you learning as you were going?
Yeah, I learned it in college.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wasn't telling people that I sang because I didn't want to get inundated with, not that it sounds cocky to say that I would have been inundated, but somebody would have said, hey, you want to do this top 40 band in Miami Beach at the Deauville, you know, the lounge at the Diplomat or something. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to deal with all this stuff that I loved. Herbie Chick, Keith McCoy,
Yep.
Bill Evans, Bud, Wynton, you know, as we said before. Maybe that was last night we said that, but yeah. And I don't play it much. I'm not very good at it now. It's kind of not good. But I know the language.
Yeah.
Okay. It's not under my fingers so well because you have to do it. At least I do. People always tell me, well, we know you're playing when we hear it. You know, we just know it's you. And can you tell us why? Because we don't really know.
That's a good question, actually.
Yeah, I had to come up with a facile description, and so I came up with this one, Bill Evans meets the hymn book, the hymnal. Because I love this sort of stuff that you hear me do, like the...
Yes.
That sort of thing is, but I'm never far from. I like all this. I like tense. I like all that.
Beautiful.
Yeah, that's where I live, in that area a lot. So it's always been real simple for me. I've come up with this harmonic palette that I know how to give myself chills.
But that changes over time, doesn't it? You want it? Do you find yourself going for more and more kind of dissonances and things like that?
Well, okay, so that's a different idea. That's the idea of I've done this. I don't want to do this all the time. I'm interested in making a sound that I haven't heard before.
Okay.
And that is going to, at least for me, inevitably lead me to the outer reaches of harmony. And so I was always interested in this. I was always interested in not just but I was interested in Whatever it is, Conquer Sonata stuff, the Thoreau, last movement. I got signed to RCA in 1985, and I went through about 7 different presidents in all those years.
Amazing.
It would last 1 year, 2 years, 3 years max. They'd always drop everybody but me, and then when Dave Matthews came along, it was Dave Matthews and me.
Right.
And so, but then 2003 came along, and I had made, with Dave Bendith, who you know.
Yeah, my dear friend.
Dave Bendith came in and he challenged me to make a modern record. Modern has a lot of ways to be modern, but in his way it's kind of a jam, and I called it my electronica blues record. It's sort of Beck-ish in some cases, and I really like it. It holds up just fine to me to this day. But that came out in 2002. It was bad timing because then the 7th or 8th president in my tenure was Clive Davis. And he came in and said, you know, you're out. And I understood it completely. But I had Donnie Einer over at Columbia always, whenever I'd run into him, say, when are you going to come with a real record company? You know. So
sounds like him.
Yeah. He said, and so we walked right across the street, or where, figuratively, and he signed me right away. So one of the greatest aspects of that era, it's probably way bygone at this point, but if you were an artist, if you were signed to their label, you could order for free any CD, and they had the catalog of life.
Oh yeah.
Incredible. So I went crazy. I ordered 176 different CDs. Most of what I ordered was Boulez conducts the complete Webern. You know, Glenn Gould plays Schoenberg Suite for piano. Of course, Gould plays Goldberg Variations. On and on. I got so into all that Ligeti, the Grand Macabre, maybe was an opera he had written, Philip Glass. I was just ingesting all of that. So that started moving me over to the dark side, much to the chagrin of most of my audience, who likes to hear. And I don't blame them. I get it. So I've spent lots of time. Look, I still write songs that are very inside in that way.
Yeah.
But it has to have something that reaches me. The title song of our new record is called Indigo Park, and it's gotten such great reaction, a lot of it from older fans who go, oh, thank the Lord. And it starts. Indigo, roses in spring, the air was heavy as the thunder did sing. I'd take the plunge in the old time dark, put her on hand and put her in park. There's a heightened sense of possibility when you don't know shit and you're young and you're green. Turbulent twinge, it won't ease, and I'm in with you only in my dreams. Oh, let these days be your delight, captured in a rhythm and a rhyme. Watch these drawn lines chase your lives, most scintillating times, falling or flying up and down, lit up like a diamond hiding in the rough. Succeed or fail, it's all the same. It's only life, and life is enough. So whatever, it's life and life only. And that's so.
Love that.
I love it too.
Yeah.
I was trying to not write songs because I have been so fecund, so creative in the last, since 2018, I put out 4 records in 6 years, and I was creatively fried. I'd written 42 songs in that time, and it took a lot out of me. Not just the writing of them, the making the record.
Sure.
So it's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a freaking bear doing this. So I was not ready to receive, closing all notebooks. You know, I have an area on my iPad that houses lyric idea, the song title, blah, blah, blah. No, don't look at it. Finally, after six months plus of just keeping it at bay, I said, okay, I'm going to take the deep dive. And I got into this and wrote the song about this goofy thing that happened to me as a sophomore in high school at a pool party. There's a lot of self-deprecation in my work, and that's a perfect example. Bruce scuffling again, Bruce sucking again. Anyway, I wrote it and recorded it with just piano and Rickenbacker 12 and vocal. And I have my little coterie of well-informed geeks in my area, smart guys who are really knowledgeable about music, my brother included, and some of his great friends. And so I'd get them in a car, say, hey, you want to hear something? Oh yeah, yeah, come on with it. And this one they all just went, oh my, you know, they all got the same feeling. And that's when you can't force chills. Mm-hmm. And so when that happens when it happens to yourself, and then also happens to your listening compatriots, that's telling you something very clear.
Yeah. And
it's the same thing now when it's come out. I kept saying, damn it, it seems like this was then I said, once I realized this about this song in Eagle Park, I said, okay, now I got to write 9 more because we got to do this, and so we did, and not unfortunately, it just is one of those songs, and it was the first single, and it's done way better than anything we put out, maybe since the Justin Vernon duet, and that's totally attributable to his presence, because Justin Vernon is, you know, one of the baddest men. Anyway, so right, I really went off on whatever you were asking me about. I don't know.
No, it's great.
It was, but I'm glad it brought me into that song because it's an important song for us at this point.
Let's talk a little bit more about
Dissonance. Yes.
Dissonance. Well, you got 176 records from Columbia when Donnie Einer signed you.
Yes.
So you start listening to all these different things, and you start getting inspiration from them.
Yes.
How do you then turn that into music?
Well, I was lucky. The timing had it that we'd been commissioned. We, meaning, well, I had been, but I brought my longtime great kindergarten friend, Chip DiMatteo, one of the brightest people I know, one of the funniest people I know. So I enlisted DiMatteo in this pursuit of trying to write musical theater, but trying to find some different ways of doing it. We have a bitonal musical theater song, one hand in C and one hand in F sharp. Oh yeah. Yeah. On this glorious day. Anyway, I won't go into it. This is another thing I wanted to do. We were writing a song called Neighborhood Watch, and we had the words. Chip had written the words. I thought it needed to be one of those up-tempo, sort of polka-esque 2 beats, oompa, 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 like Wells Fargo Wagon, you know. So I didn't know how to get into it because, man, you can really write a square-ass song in that field.
Right.
I mean, really do the bed, you know. But I was practicing this Schoenberg piece, practicing my friend Arnold, and so I'm playing this crazy thing. So people look at me like, what in the world are you doing? But I kept working on this thing, and this one part just came, this part that goes, okay, something about that. Okay, so I'm doing fourths in the right hand.
Yeah.
I mean the left hand. So let me stay with the fourths. I'm starting to feel something here. That's gonna work. And there's a resolve, and now I'm really onto something because I had the words. The words of the chorus were, "You watch the neighborhood, I'll watch the nearby woods," and on it. So you watch the neighborhood, and then I'll watch the nearby woods, protecting all our neighbors good, just like all good neighbors should. And there it was. And I thought I would never have written that without this. So our neighborhood was once serene, but now the scene has turned obscene. Here's a way to end your boredom. Catch this guy in waterboard amidst no Sunday stroll. Remember we going on patrol. Is he a liberal pervert or arsonist? The stranger in our midst. You watch the neighborhood, I'll watch the nearby woods, protecting all our neighbors good, just like all good neighbors should.
Beautiful.
So there we go.
Yeah.
So I'm going, this is something I want to continue to pursue. And I've done this, and it's right there on my new record in a couple of instances. Some less annoying to the harmonically conservative than others, but so.
Bruce, is that difficult to play for you and sing?
I did okay, frankly, because I haven't done that in a long time. So yes,
it seems incredibly difficult.
The answer
to play and
is
sing.
yes.
Okay,
yes,
good.
all this stuff. Yeah.
If you said no, that's easy.
A young boy was murdered. He was only 10. This anniversary's been replayed in town since then. Except that his family, they can't live it again. Our town secret mystery. That's freaking hard to do, man. It's just like you have to just deal with it and just be terrible until you're not. That's the only answer. But yeah, it's all really hard, but really satisfying when you can do it. That's the other side. But it's such a high bar. Just classical music in general. That's just a different level.
Yeah.
Pat Metheny told me when he was playing on Harbor Lights, and he was just, my older brother was in there because he loves Pat, so we were just hanging out. We're basically just listening to Pat just crush every take. And he's sitting just right there. And he, on some particularly wild and woolly, amazing flight of fancy, the tape stops. And I said, all right, I got to ask you this question. When you were at your most intense woodshedding period, when was that, and how many hours a day did you practice? Do you know the answer to this? Because you know Pat.
Well, I know that he warms up for 4 hours a day.
Yeah, right. Okay. Well,
that's just the warm up.
Yeah, I know. Oh, exactly. Yeah. Okay. So his answer was, well, at my height, which was from age 12 to I don't know, say 17, 18, I practiced 12 hours a day, and we just went, well, no wonder.
Yeah.
Other than Art Tatum or Oscar Peterson, or just name tons of classical virtuosi. They have put that time in. Marta Argerich, for instance, I bet she was just deep in the shed in a way that it just seems otherworldly.
And she's still playing at 85.
She's still crushing.
Still crushing.
She's
unbelievable.
She's a true hero.
When you work on something like this, how long will you go in long periods, long stretches of time, working, writing stuff down, practicing?
Yeah, absolutely, every day.
Yeah.
But the problem is, I developed tendonitis, purely an overuse injury. So I have to manage that now with my right hand. I have to be very careful with it. So yes, I do it with that asterisk, because then sometimes I go, I can't freaking play today.
Tell me about your process as far as writing and keeping track of ideas? Are you always recording things when you're working on it?
Yeah, I have little
Like voice memos and stuff.
iPhone videos that I'll take of myself. The aforementioned massive area in my notes in my iPad. It just goes, and you just keep going boom, 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 and that's just for the last record and this latest record were both written in that little area. I had probably 15 notebooks from the years before, pre-iPad. So yeah, I'm always ready to receive. Look, I'm deeply interested in literary fiction. You know, the snob's world of lit. And I get a lot of ideas from that. We'll move into a little Spike Lee world here, because Spike Lee and literary fiction blend together very well in my world. I've scored movies for Spike from 2008. I've worked with him. We first worked together in 1992. 95, he was making a movie called Clockers, and he called me and said, "Hey, I'm looking for an end title song for this movie. It's a great movie." Delroy Lindo, Mekhi Phifer's first film. He said, "Look, looking for an end title song. Would you write one for me? You got anything for me?" I said, "Well, interesting that you call, Spike, because Chaka Khan and I just wrote a song." "Give it to me," he says. So we did. He went for it. It was instantly the end title song. We made a video in Harlem.
Here is my hand for you to hold. Here's the part of me they have not sold. I've wandered far, I've had my fill. I love you now, do you love me still? Only you have seen the hidden part of me. Call me naive, I think you will. I love you now, do you love me still?
Beautiful. It goes on. Yeah, it's been recorded by a bunch of people.
How do you get your audience to move with you? Like when you're doing, these more esoteric or more harmonically dense pieces, and then you combine them with other things. Like, how does that work?
Well, it doesn't work very well.
Okay.
It really does not. I've come to a place where, and this is sort of codified now in my gigs, because I'm a bit of a populist. I don't want people to hate it, but at the same time, I can't be shackled in the prison of oldies expectation. I just cannot. I won't, because I just would stop. I'd rather teach school, and not that teaching school is great. That's what I would have done. I'd have probably been a driver's ed instructor and JV basketball coach in Floyd County, Virginia, playing bluegrass on the weekends, bluegrass piano. So, but sometimes, for instance, things like that, that's inside. That's
inside.
The audience likes that.
Yes.
They don't know it.
Doesn't
but
matter.
They're
they love it.
ready to receive that kind of thing. And I write songs, like Indigo Park. That audience, they'll love that. They're in. So on my gigs, I try to sing a well-known song every 3 or 4 songs, and the rest is no, it's really not. The rest is not that. A lot of the rest for me, and my audience likes this because it's inside. They like the sort of my folk music meets the modern a little bit, but sort of my two-handed independence thing. Like if for instance, if I made a whole record of did I play anything totally thorny? Not really. Where is that freaking thing? If I made a whole record of stuff that sounded like, and then started singing over it, no, I would have no shot. But luckily for me, the stuff that actually moves me the most is not that. I'm happy. I love to write it. I love that I include that because I want to push the norms.
Sure.
And push the forms and the norms.
Yeah.
I want to push it. So I do. But always there's something in there that is, on the Absolute Zero, there's the simplest song. It's just a straight folk song. This is a song for the play.
There's a house somewhere someday with what everybody needs, where the daddy is employed and everyone succeeds, where guilt and circumstances won't put him on the outs. There's a place somewhere someday, but never in his house. There's a house somewhere someday where things don't fall apart, where the mommy husband still has passion in his heart, where even after 20 years he's aching for his spouse. There's a house somewhere someday, but never in this house. Someday, somewhere in this house I'll touch and you'll feel. Someday, somewhere in this house I'll love and you'll sleep. Someday, somewhere in this house I'll love and you'll hear all our problems disappear. Someday, someday.
Yeah, look, that's
Beautiful.
That's the stuff.
That's amazing.
Yeah, thank you. So I love that, and of course my fans would love it if I just did that, and I get that, and maybe one day I will. But it feels like I've heard that song before, and someone would say, "Yeah, but not that good," Okay, so but hey, my answer is it's on the record.
There you go.
It is. I'm not holding this back. I love that. It moves me too. I get chills playing it. But you have to always be looking for that.
Right.
I'm looking for something like that in anything I hear or anything, again, that I read. I'm always
looking for one of those gems like that.
Totally, man. Looking for the gems. That should be the title of this. Thanks, man.
Bruce, thank you so much.
Great.
Appreciate it.